Am I the butthole for not letting my in-laws into our home because that's what brother-in-law wanted? My brother-in-law, Jason, is 20 and 2 years ago he was in an accident that left him paralyzed. He's bound to a wheelchair and barely has any hand mobility, so he needs help with pretty much everything. My wife's parents were hit hard by this and struggled with the pressure of taking care of him. Even though he receives benefits and compensation, in-laws couldn't handle all the doctor's appointments, physical therapy sessions, and constantly caring for him. In the end, Jason came to live with us. Her parents claimed they just needed a few weeks to take a break from caring for him. A few weeks turned into months until he stayed with us permanently. There was a lot of conflict over this. We couldn't believe they just stopped coming to see him altogether when he was already in a dark place and adjusting to these permanent life changes. We didn't speak with them for a long time. It was difficult to adjust at first, but we're glad he's here with us. Before COVID, we had a care provider stay with him while we were at work, but now that we're home majority of the time, we just take turns. He and I have gotten very close, so we've had many talks about his feelings. I know how hard this is for him and how much it hurt when my in-laws pulled out of his life. We haven't had any contact with them at all in over a year. Well, as it turns out, they want to see him again. My wife told me this could be the chance to finally get the family back together and to make amends. She's talked this over with Jason, but he wants nothing to do with them. He's made it clear he doesn't want to see them, but she insists it's important they all talk. Today they showed up unexpectedly when my wife was out. Jason was in the other room, and apparently they arranged this meeting today with my wife but got there earlier than the agreed time. They just wanted to have a sit down with Jason, but I didn't let them set foot in the house. Honestly, my anger got the best of me and I shut the door on them when they wouldn't leave. I told Jason they were here. He didn't want to speak with them. They left after 10 minutes. When my wife got home, she was furious. She knows what they did was bad, but this was the chance to make it better, and Jason doesn't know what's best for himself because he's still upset about what they did. We went back and forth on this. She said closing the door on them and refusing to let them see Jason was a butthole move, but I feel his wishes should be respected. However, she says his feelings on this are obviously clouded because of what happened, and I prevented him from reconnecting with them in order to move on from the pain. So I'm not sure, was I a butthole here? Not the butthole. Your brother-in-law absolutely does know what's best for his own emotional well-being. He shouldn't be forced to clear the air until he wants to do so. I completely agree, and original poster needs to have a serious conversation with his wife about her priorities. This was a planned ambush on her brother and she was in on it. Edit. OMG, my first award, thank you. What makes it worse is if the brother doesn't have great mobility, so he'd essentially be trapped in a situation that he couldn't escape from. Edited to NTA. I was trying to reply to a comment when I posted this. And apparently accidentally posted to the op. Also, another note, I did take 2 words out cause I did not proofread that great before posting and don't know how to do the cross-out text. I changed it from worse as it was, to worse if sorry. Came here to say exactly this. Thank you, original poster, for being the arms and legs your brother-in-law needed to shut that door in their faces. You are truly a bro. Seriously, op. You are apparently the only person fighting for him. He needs you, keep at it. And the fact that your wife claims that she knows more about her brother's wants and needs than the brother himself is alarming. NTA. He's not a child. He's entitled to cut them out of his life if he wants. The fact that she's just completely disregarding him is concerning. What if she disagrees with something else he wants because she doesn't think he knows what he's doing? Also, the brother likely needs actual therapy with someone who knows what they are doing. I don't doubt that original poster and his wife are doing all they can, but it just might not be enough. Brother needs someone completely on his side with no ulterior motives. I think the wife arranged all this not for the best interest of her brother, but for her own personal agenda. She doesn't like that they don't all have the picture-perfect family and wants to pressure Bill into letting bygones be bygones. To me, this reads no differently than those stories where, say, the original poster would be wronged some way by a family member, and the rest of them would gang up on the victim because they don't want to forgive the person who did them wrong. Not for the victim's own good, but because it is convenient for everyone else. NTA. Op's wife is also probably getting a ton of pressure from her parents because they done effed up big time and they want to just waltz back in and apologize and be forgiven. But it's not up to them to decide when Jason, if ever, is willing to have them in his life again. Op's wife is in a tough position between her parents and her brother, but she needs to stand by his side and not infantilize him because he is disabled. He is perfectly competent to decide who can and should be in his life, and I'm so glad original poster was there for him. Infantilizing the disabled is ableist and all too common. Wife needs a lesson in how to be a proper ally. Maybe it's just that I'm jaded, but I'd be willing to bet there wouldn't have even been an apology, just rug sweeping and we're here now and that's what counts, and but family and or some such BS. Yep. Or, worse, I'm sorry you feel like we've done something wrong. This also feels a lot like she wants brother to go back to the parents' house for care. Not the butthole op. This was the first thing I thought. Sounds like it became too much work for her, so the easy exit is for him to move back with the parents again. NTA projection. She wants bro out of the house so badly that her feelings on the situation are clouded. Don't get me wrong, she is an amazing sister because she took brother in when the parents wouldn't. Now though, the parents finally want back into his life and all she sees is the light at the end of the tunnel where she has her house to herself. I can't fault her for feeling that way, but she needs to get her head out of ass and see the situation for what it is. I'm honestly amazed I had to scroll this far to find someone saying the same thing. To me it felt like his sister was trying to essentially do the same thing her parents had done, like right as soon as she started pushing for a reunion. Picture perfect family. So many people are forced/guilted into putting up with toxic/abusive relatives in the name of illusory happy/perfect family. Wife is infantilizing Jason because he is differently abled, which is insulting and smacks of prejudice. Good job, Op. My heart swelled reading this. I'm a social worker in training, and one of the key social work values is dignity and worth of the person. You embodied that for Jason beautifully. Wife should realize how fortunate she is to be with such a compassionate man. I agree, but the term differently abled is infantilizing. Most disabled people prefer disabled, but terms like differently abled mostly make abled people feel good. Thanks for letting me know. I've heard differently, but like all groups, disabled people are not a monolith. And in thinking about it, it would probably have been better to just say he's a person with a disability. And disabled and differently abled just sounds super patronizing to me. I know you didn't mean it in that way, but there is nothing wrong with saying disabled. If you are concerned, you can ask the person which they would prefer, but generally disabled is fine. I think it's really good of you to consider how they may feel about it though. Often we get ignored, or talked over, and it's really frustrating. So it's nice to see/read people who give a damn. Definitely the fact that he is disabled is contributing, but if she's the elder sibling, she might be infantilizing him for those reasons as well. Yes, but original poster and his wife are entitled to kick him out of the house if they want and have over whomever they want should they choose. That said, the verdict here is pretty clear here, NTA. Original poster is the only one doing right by his bill. The in-laws are obvious buttholes, and Op's wife is a raging butthole who not only tried to pull a real dick move, but then got super pissy with Op. That's doubling down on being a butthole. Kick him out, for what reason? He didn't do anything wrong. Her parents turned their backs on their son. I'm surprised that Op's wife wants anything to do with them. I certainly wouldn't. Not to mention this is a stressful situation and it can cause unconscious tension between everyone. It's clear that Op's parents got burned out and handled it the worst way possible, leaving brother feeling abandoned and worthless. And it's good that original poster had an at-home care program for a while, because it helps to have an unbiased party that he can interact with socially. He's probably feeling lonely right now, getting out less. Also, it'll stop original poster and wife from getting burned out like mom/dad did. It's super awesome that they're trying their hardest to help brother, but you can't pour from an empty glass. They need to have time to themselves as well for mental rest. It's not brother's fault, it's just a necessary part. Might the wife be hoping if they make up then the parents will start helping more again? Taking pressure off her and Op? Sure, it's possible. But that is a conversation that the wife should have had with Op. She should be expressing her frustration/difficulty with original poster so that they can come up with a solution. Possibly bringing the caretaker back in to lighten the load. If she is struggling, she's slightly less the butthole, but not completely vindicated because of how she handled the situation. Bill's emotional well-being should be a top priority. I agree with you, but I just want to add that even a child is entitled to cut people out of their life if they hurt them. Maybe not so easy with parents, but children shouldn't be forced to kiss or hug their family members and friends. NTA: as someone with mobility issues from a spinal injury and headed for a wheelchair, I would be horrified by being trapped in that situation if no one listened to me. You did Jason a solid here by respecting his wishes. It's not like he could just leave. They wanted a captive audience, regardless of him and his feelings. It's completely disrespectful. Oh God, I never thought of that. Being forced into a conversation you can't physically escape from sounds awful. Not the butthole. And if they're being this backhanded and belligerent about seeing him, you know damned well they want to badger him into submission so they have their way. The parents might have a guilty conscience enough to just want him to agree with them so they feel better. Doesn't sound any of it is out of concern for Jason's well-being. Of course, just to feel kind of forgiven by him. Actual sociopath crap. Honestly, even if they are feeling genuine remorse and want to apologize/make amends, it still wouldn't justify trying to trap him like that. That's not making amends, that's making it worse. Exactly. Genuine remorse and respect would have been, we understand he doesn't want to see us right now, but please let him know we're sorry and completely take accountability for our harmful actions. If and when Jason is ready, we'd love to have a conversation so we can apologize for the hurt we've caused. Badgering someone who can't escape you is evil. So glad original poster stepped in to protect his boundaries. They could have written a letter, or many letters. They chose to ambush the guy that can't escape. That's so many levels of effed up, and Jason still needs his awful sister to help with daily tasks, that poor guy. They probably only want to reconcile because their friends have started noticing that they abandoned their disabled son. I find it hard to believe that they are doing this out of genuine remorse or affection, considering how they went about it and how they are reacting now. Or maybe now they feel that all the care is provided by original poster and his wife, they don't have any responsibility anymore and can reconnect without all the struggle of taking care of him. That was my first thought, at least. So many ways for them to be buttholes, lol. The parents probably want a share of Jason's disability benefits. I agree. If they understood what they did to him, they wouldn't try to strong-arm him into a conversation and would respect his feelings. Seems like they want to mend things for their own sake. I also like how they said that his feelings are clouded. Like abandonment is not a big thing that he experienced. Clouded my left-ass cheek. They abandoned their kid when he needed them and took advantage of original poster by dumping Jason on the doorstep. Now they want to force Jason into making them feel better about it. Clouded judgment seems to equate to very legitimate judgment with specific incidents to support judgment when it is inconvenient for someone. Does anyone else feel like the wife is infantilizing him? Maybe she's forgotten that just because he needs his physical needs taken care of like a child, it doesn't mean he's mentally a child. I was thinking more that she wants the happy family back, but that's a good hypothesis as well. It's probably a bit of both. I think it's this exactly. He doesn't know what's best for himself is what you say to a child who won't eat his vegetables, not a grown man who has reacted reasonable to abandonment. You don't get to negate someone's right to feel a certain way just because you don't agree with it, which is what she is doing. Yeah, downplaying what he went through and feelings like he's being stubborn and overdramatic. And downplaying how much horrible and effed up they were like the wife is unbelievable. Easy to tell someone else to just let it go. They're not going to fix and heal this if they can't respect and realize his feelings are very much valid from how they effing abandoned him in such a state. Need to respect his wishes and give him space and take it slow. There's no quick fix to fixing their relationship. My thought exactly. Jason is physically disabled, not mentally. He's 20 years old. A mentally fully capable adult. Deciding who and when and with whom he will meet or listen to is his autonomy. Well, for now it's his decision to not want to meet them, and that has to be accepted. What your wife pulled up is some real butthole move. Treating him like the child they abandoned. Well, though luck. No one but him gets to decide anymore. It has to come from him and him only. Demeaning stunts like this will certainly help in mending that relationship. Good job original poster for sticking to his wishes. Not the butthole in this or any future encounters of the kind. You and Jason really to make it clear that there will be no repeat tries unless Jason wishes it. Edit, typo. And if the parents can't understand this, they clearly are not ready to have a proper relationship with their son. This is the big thing for me. As a physically disabled person, enforcing consent will be more difficult for him because they could easily corner him in a room. If your wife thinks her brother has hang-ups, try to get him a therapist. Don't ambush him and take away his ability to consent to a situation. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.